Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this wonderful Friday night. And, Sherry was on last week, and she's here this week again to join me because she mentioned another YouTuber that she recommended. And I thought, well, hey, she sent me some videos over. I figured we could have Bailey on. Bailey from Endlesssoul YouTube channel. So, welcome to the program. How's it going? Or I hate to use that word
Hey,
program, but
how's it
show.
going?
Going pretty good,
Program.
man.
Pleasure to be talking to you guys. I
Yeah,
did some
man.
research on you guys' channel.
Hmm.
I'm really happy to be here. It's awesome to get to speak to anybody who, actually resonates with what, I have to say.
Absolutely, and that's really what this group's all about because a lot of times you don't get a lot of shares from the algorithm, but we have a really great grassroots community. So when we pass the links around and share and let people know about other channels and stuff, it's a great group of people. You don't have to like sift through all the trolls and stuff because this group here is the trolls don't like to hang around. They just get like all these hearts and emojis and love, and if they get too out of hand, they get boinked with the wrench. So it's a really great group here.
Yeah, I'm awesome. It's awesome to be here.
So let's
So,
start
are you
for.
going to let me read my intro?
Oh yeah, sorry, Sherry. Let's hear it, Sherry.
All right. Okay. I was going to say how so many of the young ones, it's kind of like, it's Alexis Buck, like from Ascension Diaries and stuff. It impresses me so much because they're so awake and they just know what's up. And so I wanted to introduce to our group a young man who shines his love, light, and oneness while sharing his tips, advice, and valuable information on the art of manifestation and ascension, branching out into all areas of spirituality. And he's got a little bit or a whole lot for everyone. Welcome, Bailey, of the YouTube channel Endless Soul, with three S's, Endless Soul.
Three S's.
Y'all
Thank you
like
so
y'all
much,
like my
Sherry.
intro. Thank you.
Mhm. Um, well, I think that there's obviously a lot of agendas at play, and I think there are a large amount of people who still haven't realized that, the government, the media, these people that are supposed to be giving us the answers, they're not really out here for our best interest. And I do think there's a large awakening happening right now on the planet. And kind of going into what Sherry said in her introduction, I do think that there is a mass amount of people that are my age that are just off the rip. They just know what's going on. And I think that is why, there's so many distractions in the world. And, you're seeing kids that are born into this, they get a device thrown in their hands, like, a phone or a computer, like, really early in their life. And, I just think there's a lot of different agendas at play right now on the planet. Absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like no, no, no. I was just gonna bring up the fact that it seems like to me, right, when I started seeing the smartphones and everything, it seems like it was there to kind of have us maybe dampen abilities and like put it all goes back to the thing about, the natural way or the like what's the word I'm looking for? Technological way of using like telepathy. I think it's like slowing down or kind of blocking that. I
Hmm.
don't know if y'all are understanding what I'm trying to say.
Right.
No, I definitely understand that. Yeah.
And there's so many things like that. Like I feel, like the imagination is what's so useful in like manifesting and stuff. And it's just like the television is what like hijacks that, and they trying to get us to create things and scenarios that they subscribe to and things that we want. Just even like seeing watching a
Right. Right.
movie theater.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I think my line was muted for a second, so we all should be there. Part of my voice got muted out, but it's all good. That I just saw them in the chat, and they're like, "Oh, it keeps breaking up." We're all good. I think it's better. Okay, so I'm glad I let you talk, Sherry. Got to check out the chat for a second there. So, what kind of things do you see going? Like, are you noticing it like telepathy picking up, or just because I've been noticing all these little things, like where somebody says, "I was just thinking about that," and you brought it up, and it was like a completely out of the blue topic, or just these little synchronicities. Have you been experiencing lots of synchronicities?
Oh yeah, of course. I see, synchronicities with like repeating numbers and colors and stuff on a daily basis, but
Yeah.
definitely with just the things I think and the things that I say, I'll watch it just somehow play back into my reality even a day later, and it'll be through, a YouTube video that I'm watching. I'll be like, well, I was just saying that or thinking that, or
Hmm.
even a person I'm talking to will bring up something, and it's happening at rapid speeds. And it is very odd that since the Great Conjunction that everybody was all hyped about, I really do feel that there's been a shift, and I don't really know exactly what kind of heightened abilities we all have, but
Hmm.
I definitely think that manifesting and putting your attention on something is going to get you a lot further, a lot quicker right now on this planet, and it's really cool to see.
Oh yeah, man, it's exciting, and I tell people it's a lot like you pay to get your cable TV turned on, and you have it all connected up, but you never turn the TV on to check to see if they've come out and connected it yet. So we could have abilities just waiting, to try, but we're not even trying them. So I always tell people to play around with stuff. We do little games where my kids will pick a color and a shape, and then we'll try to guess it. And I've done that with other people. It's a fun game to play, and to see just how much comes through, in those times when you're just playing around or actually doing it on purpose. Because a lot of times it happens on accident. So trying to actually do it on purpose and learn the mechanics of how it works.
Yeah, yeah, and I
I just
definitely agree
noticed.
with what you said.
Hmm.
I'm sorry.
You go, Sherry.
No, I was just gonna say that I noticed the manifestation picking up, and it's like the synchronicities that I had in the beginning, it scared me so much, and I like become into like a fearful state, and then just going down that road fast, 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 and the more momentum that was picked up, the more I would just freak myself out. And I've really seen recently that if I'm not focusing, positive, things
Hmm.
are going to move the other direction. It's just it's really incredible, and I'm glad I'm starting to see that because I was so scared for a while. you have no idea the things I went through, and the synchronicities. It was just freaking me out, you know.
It can
Hmm.
freak you out, yeah. Yeah, do you come across
So
people like
there's
that,
that.
Bailey, where people are sort of like, it's sort of like, because I get messages through all sorts of things, but sometimes, you can think the message like the person might be like psychic, right? And like, why did they say that? How did they know I was just thinking about that? Or so
Yeah.
I've always felt like people are unaware of it because I've had people tell me I've done things, or I've had people close to me do things. I'm like, why did you just say that? And they're like, I don't know. I just kind of just said that. I'm like, well, wow, that was so synchronistic with what I was thinking. So I never really focus on the messenger as much as the message that comes through because I feel like it can come through all sorts of I don't know sources. So do you have anybody that sort of gets freaked out by it when they see so many magical things happening? Because it can be a little freaky.
Well, I mean, anytime I get to spend time around my family, they're not really up to speed the way I am with some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I don't know if it's telepathy or what it is, but they always say I'm sort of just a step ahead and understanding what they're thinking. And they, I mean, sometimes it can appear to be pretty mystical, but, a lot of them are so rigid in their thinking that it'll always be coincidence, or it'll always be, just by chance or whatever. But what Sherry was saying about the good moving quick and also the bad, that's just so very true. Um, I mean, I notice when I'm not, I don't really have my thoughts in check. Um, it, sometimes if I'm thinking about something that's sort of out of alignment with, who I'm trying to be and what I'm trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
I can watch just kind of how quickly it will manifest into my life, whether it's somebody telling me this or that, or whether it's some circumstance or event that takes place. It's just it's crazy to see, it's crazy to see how um, just every event and every person is sort of a reflection of yourself and your subconscious. It's happening at high speeds right now.
Right.
One thing I was gonna tell you, Bailey, that's so weird. It's like, so um, I'm a nurse, and I've done really good at this time of staying like out of all the fear that was being, you know, with the virus and all that stuff. And it's so weird because I looked around the other day and saw that I'm working at probably the only hospital on earth where they no one wears any mask or anything. And that is like incredible when you look at everything like it is today. I looked around and I was like, you know, I put myself here, and if you were to picture like a heavenly realm, the property at this place is like it's heavenly. It's got like a big pond and it's on a plantation and all this stuff. And I even get to help. Like I work at an addiction center, and as the people sober up, they become more aware, and they start having experiences where they'll say, "Well, I dreamed last night I was standing outside of my body," or they'll become lucid because they're so aware because they're cutting off all these drugs that have clouded their, you know, senses for so long. And been able to have some of them like really work some stuff out, like just by saying, well, look, like you had a problem with your dad. Think about your dad. When I come back next time, just tell me if something happens, and then it does. So I guess I, I was able to see that I was really putting myself in the perfect place right now, and it was kind of shocking because I can't imagine any other hospital like that right now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
that video that you did, I was thinking maybe you could tell everybody about. Like, I love the 369 video. Could you maybe tell the listeners about that a little bit?
The vortex math,
Yeah.
Tesla numbers.
Sure.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be cool.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't really go into that much description as to kind of the Tesla code and stuff, but the main way that I see people kind of using the 369, those numbers, when it comes to scripting, manifesting and affirmations and all that is, doing this 369 scripting method. And it's mainly just based around kind of just beating a certain affirmation into your subconscious mind until it impresses inside of it and, starts to replicate in your reality. But the fact that you are so consistently, you hope to be doing it every single day, 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the middle of the day, and 9 times before you go to bed. And with the 3 and the 9 being hopefully right when you wake up and right before you go to sleep, it's all about subconscious mind impression. And, if you're sticking to that schedule, it really helps speed up your belief in what you're trying to kind of impress into your subconscious mind. So I found that it's been very helpful. And, I got to learn a lot more about Nikola Tesla when I did some research on it. He's an amazing, or was an amazing person.
Yeah, I love Nikola
I
Tesla.
actually had found a website of a woman that like worked with him a whole lot. It was kind of like, it seemed kind of underground and full of mystery. I can't remember her last name, Storm maybe, but there was just so much out there on him, and it seemed like it just appeared out of nowhere. And because I've always researched Tesla and stuff, and so I was like, where did this information come from? And that's one of the things that I'd wanted to ask you, because I hadn't seen anything on your channel about it yet, is if you were familiar with him, what your opinions were about the Mandela effect.
I don't actually know his role in the Mandela effect. But huh?
No, I was just wondering if you like heard of it and stuff.
I haven't really heard about the Mandela effect.
Oh, I can't wait for you to hear about that.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It seems like it's along the lines of something I'd be interested in.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Give him the rundown, Shane.
Right. So, wow. Okay. So basically, every single category of everything that you can possibly think of, from geography to your human body to logos and company slogans and movies and scenes in movies and songs and lyrics and everything, has all been changing in a seemingly impossible way. So, like, what's a good one? Have you ever heard of Stouffer's stovetop stuffing?
Yep.
Okay, so Stouffer stovetop stuffing has never existed in this reality. It's always been Kraft stovetop stuffing, like, the people that make cheese. So people that remember Stouffer's stovetop stuffing, if they go and look into it and see that Stouffer's has never owned stovetop stuffing, they're kind of like, I know they owned it. I remember seeing the logo. I remember people calling it that and all of this, but apparently that reality has never existed. So at some point, things change and they appear in a new way that no one, well, actually, some people remember them in the way that they are now as if they've always been that way. So it's a very individual thing. So if you see one change, it doesn't mean you're going to see all of the changes. It's a very individual thing, and we could all have a list of our 10 Mandela effects that, like mine is the thinker statue. So Rodin's thinker statue for me growing up, I had one and his fist was to his forehead, but now it's like under his chin. So some people remember it always being, well, actually sucking on his knuckles. It moved up a little bit. It's moved twice. Statues. And when it changes, all the pictures change as if they've always looked that way. So there's a really interesting picture of the Rodin's thinker statue with, I think I counted 18 little softball girls, 8 or 10 years old, little kids, and they all have their fists to their forehead posing next to the statue, but now the statue's changed, so they're all making the wrong pose. So it doesn't change human consciousness. And that's sort of what I've noticed is that things will survive whenever it's someone's memory, when they rely on their own experience and memory. So if they were right, no. Do you remember the Febreze cleaner? Like the...
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay, do you remember how it's spelled?
Is it Febreeze?
Okay, that's how it used to be spelled. So congratulations. You're Mandela
Oh no.
affected.
Switched it up
You're
on us?
officially Mandela affected.
Yeah, so now it's Febreze. There's only one E in there. It doesn't have the word breeze in there like it used to have. It's actually got, it doesn't have the double E. So they've taken an, I don't want to say they've taken an E
Okay.
out. It's just always existed without the double E.
Here's
If you,
the thing.
mhm.
If you go
Right.
back to the copyright or the whatever, when these things are like, for me, my biggest one was the Berenstein Bears. It was Berenstein, and I
Do you know about that one, Bailey?
had to read it.
Did you grow up reading those books or
I
anything?
know about the Bernstein Bears, but
Oh, he called it the
You
Berenstein
ready for this?
Bears.
You ready for this, Bailey? I think that it is to show us how malleable the universe is, or something. Because now, even if you went back to the very first book ever published, it was spelled
mhm.
Berenstain, AIN. And a lot of people see messages in this, and some people see it negatively, and some people see it positively. The first thing that I saw was biblical changes,
Oh yeah, the
and
Bible's changing. That's huge.
the Bible changed, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the Antichrist changing the Bible, and and you can make it. It can look like that if that's what you want. And what happened was, that's how I found Shane's channel. I was in so much fear that, and then I came over here and I found all these subscribers and all these people here that I've made friends with and stuff, and now I'm a lot more at peace about it. There's several theories of how this happened. Go ahead, Shane, tell some of them theories.
Oh well, of course, time travelers and shifting into alternate timelines, which is a pretty popular one. The example I just gave, though, is what leads me to feel like this is one single reality that sort of just shifts things in it, shift into different things, because I feel like, like with the example of the girls that were all posing next to the statue, if we jumped into a different reality where, it was just a different train, then the statues and the girls would still match. But it appears that the girls are the same as they've always been, but the statue alone changed in this one single reality that we're in. So I do, I do like the multiple timeline theories, but it just doesn't fit in certain instances. So I think it's helpful to be able to say, well, in this timeline, this one, this, and this was this way, but now we're in this timeline where things are slightly different. So timelines is probably timelines or alternate realities is probably the biggest thing. And then some people think it's CERN, like they've opened up a black hole and done something, sucked Earth into a different part of the galaxy, because that's one of the changes. We used to be way out on the outskirts in the Sagittarius arm, and now we're on the Orion spur, about halfway to the center of our galaxy, which is amazing. I mean, it's the distance we've traveled from the time I went to school and learned of our location is phenomenal. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
That's crazy.
I just
Yeah, I'm
couldn't
gonna have to
wait
do some
to tell.
research on this.
Yeah, you'll enjoy
Oh
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to tell you. I knew that you'd love it, because I mean, it's just, there's like 2,500 examples. The last time I checked on the internet, there's movie lines, and like the Monopoly Man never had a monocle. I don't know if that resonates with you at all.
Do you remember him having the one monocle on his eye?
It's weird. I can easily picture him having one, but I don't know for sure.
Okay, hold on. Let me explain the whole thing that people call the download. Okay, so it's like I told you about the stuff for stovetop stuffing, but it's like that'd be familiar. You'll seem like that's it, and then I say craft, and then all of a sudden it's like, you know what, craft sounds right. So people think that there's like a download, but I think there might be like we're tapping into different consciousnesses. Like I don't know, like there's
Wow.
sort of a collective
Yeah, I
base
can see that.
consciousness for the planet, but then there's this higher consciousness where you can remember the old ways, but you're maybe not supposed to. I don't know. I think it was they were done on purpose from our higher team selves, whatever, to wake us up, because I found all sorts of messages about getting back and being in balance with the left and the right brain, and and I've done a whole a whole talk on that or whatever, but I really feel like it's all positive, you know. But I definitely see why people see it as scary and negative, because at first I was like, I just couldn't believe it, man. When you know, like your statue that sat on your desk, you know, for so many years. And then I went and looked it up because I had seen the new version, but I just thought somebody, like a different artist, came along and kind of changed it a little bit and made it his own or something. And then when I found out the one I had on my desk didn't exist, I was floored, man. I just looked I was searching through all these images, and man, to see it doesn't exist anymore when you know it did is just so mind blowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It
That's
is.
my
I'd
mind
love for him.
circle right now.
I'd love for him to look into it and then like come back and see what he thinks
Oh
after he's
yeah,
looked
that'd be
into it. Now
cool.
that, but there is a lot of stuff on there that's kind of, what would you call it, mainstream. They'll try to say that you're remembering things wrong,
Yeah.
and
Which I
you'll
think that
find
does
that
happen.
first.
I think that does happen. You know, I think there is some instances where maybe some band sounded like another band, and then, like, you know, everybody kind of got it wrong, and everybody calls it the wrong band, and you know what I mean. I've seen this happen time and time again, and I think sometimes those get thrown in with Mandela effects too. But so I do think confabulation happens with different things, but this is definitely not that. I actually had this artwork that I had an Illustrator file, and when I heard that the geography had changed, I opened up this file from like 5 years ago. Well, now it's been like 10 years ago, but at the time, like, it had been so long, and it was like on this hard drive that was off the internet, so I knew like AI didn't go and manipulate my file. So I opened this file up, and sure enough, my artwork didn't line up. I had a hidden layer of the world map underneath my artwork that I used to like trace out the continents and everything, and it was all like moved, you know what I mean? Things weren't lined up. It wasn't the same file I opened or that I left, you know what I mean? And I'm like looking at it, like it was hard evidence for me. Now I know other people are just like, hey, you could have made it up or whatever, but for me, I knew it wasn't the same file or anything. So it's pretty trippy, man, when you find, and like I said, there's tens of thousands of changes. So you'll be able to look through so many lists and see, you know, the ones that catch you.
Yeah. But
I
back to you though. I was wondering like how you started, like what made you realize that you wanted a channel, and like how old were you when you started realizing that some of the ways that you thought was different than like your family and, you know, people around you?
Can I let me back up
I
one
mean,
little second, because we needed to tie
I'm
that thing up
sorry.
with the Venus or the, you know, Tesla thing.
Oh, okay.
That's what she was actually saying in the beginning. She wondered if that information sort of popped on the scene as a result of a Mandela effect, like it wasn't available before because like the government released some classified or declassified or unclassified some documents about Tesla being sent here from Venus. Did you hear about this, Bailey?
I have heard about that. Yeah, I've heard crazy things about him. I know people call him, you know, a crazy person to begin with. You know, you're either gonna get he's a genius or he's, you know, a nut job. But I've heard
Yeah,
some pretty esoteric things too. Not
absolutely.
esoteric in our eyes, you know.
Okay, so I just wanted to tie that up with him and why she brought up the Mandela effect, because that's what she meant. Like that's how that tied in with Tesla, and there was some
Yeah,
other
I
stuff
think
with him.
I always think everybody knows what I'm thinking, you know.
Right, right, and there was another
I
one
got some research too.
with him where people thought he died when he was younger, but now he died when he was old. Now I don't really know. I didn't follow it. I'd only seen the younger pictures of him, so when I saw him as an old man in some pictures, I was like, "What the heck?" No, I don't remember ever seeing him old, but I don't know. I can't be sure that that's a Mandela, a shift in our reality. But anyway, back to your question. Yeah, it's like, when did you figure out that, you know, you were different than, like, that's part of our group here. We're all different here.
Well, I mean, my whole life I've kind of, you know, I've never really been a part of or been a fan of like all the systems I've been put into. Like school, I've always questioned pretty much everything. I've always questioned, and um, when I see that nobody else is asking the same questions I'm asking, you know, for a while there, you start thinking, you know, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I think a little bit differently. Um, and then probably, you know, 2, 3 years ago was when I was really starting to awaken to my consciousness and expand my awareness. Um, and around that time, I was also realizing how many people had the same experiences just on the internet, on YouTube. And from there, I realized, wait a second, there's millions of people who are experiencing the same thing that I'm going through in some way or another. And as soon as I realized that, I realized that there was a community here for me to be a part of. And I knew way back when I wanted to make a channel. I just, I guess I had to get through some, like shyness or whatever it was. I don't really have a problem with talking now, but, I always wanted to make a channel just to kind of, in my opinion, or in my eyes, kind of try to expose the truth, maybe put more people onto it, and just spread love. I feel like we've been moving into a very desensitized world, and I like the idea of spreading love, spreading positivity, and I'm glad I'm doing that right now in 2021.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, my I didn't really think people would ever listen to me when I started my channel. I just didn't have anyone else to talk to in my family and stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'll just put out some videos and document my journey. And then like I immediately came across the Mandela effect, and like, man, it was just so exciting to see something so amazing happen. So that's what sort of sparked me on back in 2017 to really, kind of go at this full time, and then it's led me to realizing my sole purpose for spreading the love and the light. So, and part of that being this connection note. So that's why I like to have guests like you on to, help those connections. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I wanted
Awesome.
to introduce Bailey to everybody because I knew actually how it went down was I think that there was a channel, you'll know, Bailey, it was like Manifest This or something, that they had highlighted one of his videos.
Hmm.
And right when I turned it on, I felt like a resonance with him to where I was like, oh my gosh, I need everybody to see this kid. Like, and I just wanted to tell you, Bailey, that I really feel like you're so well spoken and you just are going to draw people to you. And I think you're going to make a big impression on this community and everybody's going to love you. I just see it. I'm here to help you manifest
Thank you so
that because
much.
I just see you going really far with this, and that's why I wanted to bring you here because I know that there's a lot of good people in this group that are going to latch on to you and watch every video.
Thank you so much.
That's awesome. Okay, so I remember the video. I came across it. It was like something about ranting about being chosen, or message to the chosen.
Oh yeah.
Your rant about being chosen. So I think we should discuss some of the rough stuff too. So what were you ranting about?
Yeah, I was kind of all over the place in that one. I don't know. I mean, I hear that terminology, that phrase thrown all around the place, all over the place, and it's kind of gotten to a point where it feels like it's a small group trying to kind of, appear on a high horse as opposed to everyone else, or kind of,
Yeah.
segregate themselves away from everyone. And, the rant was kind of just speaking about the hypocrisy in it all. A lot of these people are, talking about spreading love and light, like we were talking about, and then they turn around and they'll call somebody a bot, or they'll say, you're asleep, or you're a zombie, or, whatever it is, and it just makes me wonder, how they're willing to throw out the "we are all one" thinking in an instant, just because of this term "chosen one." So I just kind of wanted to address that. I know I'm a smaller channel, but I just felt like, the people who would resonate it would see it, and that's what's worth it to me.
It's just another way to divide people, we're not looking for the division right now. That's what the I don't know what you would want to say. That's what they want is for the division, and that's not what it's about. It's about unity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's like that's like the primary thing that divides. You know, it's like I don't know, that sort of came to me that we've got a certain group of people that really want to bring in the love and the light, but it's so hard when you get caught up in the games. That's why I feel like a lot of what's going on is just a distraction. If you walk away from it feeling angry or wanting to call someone else names, and that's really all you're coming away from some of the stuff out there that we can watch, then it's not healthy, and it's actually serving to divide, and it's serving to further push those feelings of separateness.
Yeah, absolutely. I just see a lot of people, they go from, just wanting to ask information. They're obviously starting to stumble upon this kind of info, or maybe going through their own awakening, and they just want some help, and they'll just get targeted. And, it's like, maybe it's not the case. Maybe we should remember that we're all one and help these people out. It blows my mind that, all else goes out the window sometimes when it comes to these people who are supposed to be, spreading that message of unity. So yeah, I wanted to make a video talking about that. I didn't really want to name anybody. It's just a collective thing that we need to work on.
So I notice a lot of what you do is dealing with manifestation and just bringing about, I don't know, the life that you want. And I know people talk about, we control our reality, and I like to say we control our experience of our reality, because people have a hard time with controlling the whole thing. But anyway, we're absolutely controlling our experience of it, whether you agree with the whole thing or not. So, I mean, we can choose to enjoy something or not to enjoy something, or to allow someone to make us angry or put us in a bad mood, or we can allow to let it go. It's really our choice at the end of the day once it gets to us. And I think, a lot of times we focus on things that aren't very good, and it brings about, we use the manifestation in a negative sense, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. So can you speak to manifesting and just your thoughts and things like that?
Well, one thing is I think it's real. I just want to get that out of the way. I know so many people I'll talk about manifesting law of attraction, and they'll see me as coming from kind of like a woo-woo standpoint, when this is all backed by science, and the science that we have on this planet right now is just now catching up to a lot of fundamental principles that civilizations have known for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. But manifesting is something that each and every one of us have the abilities to tap into, and it's all centered around our subconscious mind and our belief systems. And it's like what you said, we can't control the whole entire reality we're experiencing, but we can control what we can control. And within it, you can actually begin to kind of play with the variables via your thoughts. It's proven that our thoughts are energy, our thoughts are vibration, and our thoughts carry mass. As soon as they're thought, they are in the quantum field. They are growing bigger and bigger as we continue to add momentum to them. And so the basis behind law of attraction is like energy attracts like energy, and when there's all the science behind it to now prove it, it's amazing to see all these people kind of latching on to this law. It's a law of the universe, and beginning to utilize it. And I think, like we were talking about earlier, I think a lot of people are beginning to find success with the changing frequencies on this planet, and it's something that you really can take your life from an unfavorable circumstance to exactly what you want. It is largely based on your perception and your belief system, but you really can't control a whole lot in your experience. And manifesting is a way of making that happen. Law of attraction.
I think that it's kind of like I think it was Robert Wagner from Exploring the World with Lucid Dreaming. We had interviewed him, and he talked about how it's kind of more like um, you're on the ocean, and you can kind of be the captain of the ship, but you're not really like changing the ocean. I know I worded everything wrong. That's not how he said it, but it was something like that. But what I was going to say is I have a great question for Bailey. It's something that I'm struggling with right now, and I'm going to get his opinion. I'll be perfect. Okay. You know how they say, live in the now, right? And they say
Hmm.
you don't want to like really plan everything, just kind of live in the now. But then they'll say to picture like what it is that you want to manifest, like to focus on that, which would be
Hmm.
like in the future. I thought that maybe you could kind of, I think you could sum that up for me really well.
Yeah. So, I mean, the only time that exists is this moment right now. Even the quote unquote future is just this moment stretching into then. When these people, you'll hear like these motivational people saying like the time is now. They're being very literal when they say that. Um, so yeah, we can't focus too much on um, the future, the past. A lot of fear and stress is 100% mind-made, worrying about circumstances that we can't control and that either no longer exist um, you know or don't exist. Period. Are just um, mind-made projections that we've created in our mind. But yeah, when it comes to manifesting your quote-unquote future, visualizing a experience or something that you would like to receive or achieve ahead of time is important because going back to impressing the subconscious mind, the body and the mind, it can't tell the difference between an experience that we're actually 100% consciously involved in versus one that we are just, we have visual imagery going through our head matched with an elevated emotion that would match it. So when you are consistently, um, not actually experiencing it, but visualizing it in your mind and matching that visualization with a elevated emotion, it actually becomes a memory in your body. And as soon as that happens, your subconscious mind, which is kind of programmed to just replicate all of the defaults and the norms in our belief system, is going to go out and replicate that into your reality as often and in whichever way it can. Um, so yeah, we can't really, control the future, but we know that we can create our own experience, and um, you know that's pretty much the effect of manifesting.
Oh, that was really well stated. I like that. So I was looking at your video about lucid dreaming and stuff, and how you were talking about like me manifesting from the astral state. And one thing that I thought that you'd like hearing is I don't know if you're familiar with William Buhlman. It's Buhlman. He's like one of my favorite authors. He authored Adventures in the Afterlife, but he does talk about how when going out of body one time, he saw, okay, they had bought one of those houses that was like not all the way finished. And he went out of body one night and he saw like a ghost type fireplace, like the rocks around the fireplace, they had ordered them, but they
Mm-hmm.
were like on back order. So he like knew that they were coming, but they weren't there yet. And he could see them like kind of translucent where they were going to be later, like he was watching them manifest. And I know, like, when I was at the Monroe Institute, we had did a little manifestation exercise. And this is so weird because I had, like, I was picturing, and I was driving a little pink old Eclipse, and I was, like, picturing a new car, but I didn't even know what I really wanted. And so, like, in my mind, it was like just a white car. And don't you know, when I come out of there, like you kind of shut down your cell phone and everything while you're there. a flood, the 2016 flood in Louisiana happened, and I like lost my car, and I was like, what am I going to do and all this stuff? And seriously, without any money, I like manifested a 2016 Honda Sport, white. And it was just like what I
Wow.
saw on accident.
Yep.
Yeah. How about that? It sucks though when you're good at it and then you're like accidentally like throwing all these little bad thoughts in there, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, bam, bam, bam. I know I did that, you know?
Yeah. You really have to be aware, because the bad will come as quick as the good if you're not on guard.
Yeah. So have you had a lot of experience with the lucid dreaming or and out of body? Because I know you told a story that was really cool, you know, about the snow and the like office chair or whatever. That was so cool.
Yeah, that was just one of the many that I'd had in December. It's weird. It's like kind of leading up to that, or, you know, I don't know exactly when this whole shift that everyone has been talking about related to the conjoining planets, but I don't know exactly when that happened. But throughout that time period, I would become lucid almost every single night, and that's kind of what led me into. Yeah, I don't know what. Some things that I do is I'd heard that mugwort is a good supplement you can take to induce lucid dreaming or lucid dreams, and I've actually noticed that is true. I got me some mugwort, and I've kind of been playing around with that, but yeah, I've been lucid dreaming a whole lot, so it's been leading me to kind of research the topic a lot more. That's actually how I kind of bumped into the Jeremy from Consciousness Awake, the person that we've been talking to, and yeah, I mean, and then kind of just playing into just experiments with the astral plane. I have been working on just kind of inducing my own astral projections through meditation and through heart chakra meditations and crown chakra meditations. And, you know, in that video, I had talked about how, you know, you could potentially become very good at manifesting through this, because you can experience anything you want with full clarity and full, you know, basically conscious right there in the moment. So in terms of impressing your subconscious mind with something, it makes sense that is sort of, you know, next level in terms of manifesting what you want, experiencing what you want ahead of time. So I've just been playing around with both lucid dreaming and astral projection lately, and I decided to make a video on that.
I'm so glad you did, because that's like my favorite subject. And it's interesting that you mentioned the mugwort, because someone had gave me a dream pillow, and it had mugwort in it. You know, I didn't really know about like ingesting it, but what's really cool, I had taken, I know I've tried to do some of the supplement things. It's so weird, because I've been working on this since 2010, and like, it's so interesting because in 2010, my nephew had told me he had been having out-of-body experiences. And I was like, I was all Baptist, and I was like, oh, my gosh, he's going to hell. And I was like, let me just look it up. And I learned that in the Bible, you know, all these people that were having experiences were having, like, altered states of consciousness and stuff. And I started to become really interested in it. And I've had many experiences like, you know, false awakenings and things where I've just like float up there, and then my body will feel expansive, and then I've had all kind of experiences, like my dad passed away and I've seen him, you know, out of body. I've had different experiences, but mine are spread so far apart, and I've worked so hard on it, and I chalk it up to I'm older and you're younger and more tapped in. But I mean, I've worked so hard on it, but no. Really, what's holding me back is I know, and it's the same thing that's been holding me back from the beginning with everything is fear, you know. And when I look back at some of my experiences, like one of the times, like when I came out of body, there was like this dark entity in the corner with red eyes. But guess what? I was really proud of myself because I felt this sense of like detachment, and I just kind of I've learned everything about it. So I'm just like, I'm just going to keep on going and just kind of turn my back on it. And the next thing you know, I wasn't even, dealing with that at all. Where used to, I'd have been like tripping out. But yeah, one day I wanted to tell you and Jeremy about some of the experiences that I'd had with astral projection that like really, really scared me, and why and how I've had to work so hard to like get over it. It's kind of still a mystery to me, but I'm trying to like solve the puzzle, and Shane's helped me so much with that, and Eileen and Michelle and the people with this channel. But it's really interesting subject, and I've worked really hard. I'd love to get like you where I could just do it anytime I wanted to. That'd be awesome. How do you take the mugwort?
They have it in capsule form and liquid form, and I take sort of just liquid form out of a dropper, and I mix it into acai juice before I go to sleep. And I drink that.
Oh, because I've taken like galantamine, and then they came out with a product, Dream Leaf, at one time. And it was really cool. It was kind of like the Matrix thing. They had the red pill and the blue pill, and you took the blue pill before bed and set your alarm for like 3 and get up and, take the red pill. And, it actually like worked for the first couple of times. But I really think it was like because I thought it was going to. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it was
really
weird.
sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like what you were talking about with fear and belief. That's really what it all comes down to. Like when I was first, not as much with lucid dreaming, but with astral projecting. At first, I was having a lot of trouble just because I would kind of pop out of my my physical body, and it would scare me. And as soon as that would happen, I would go right back. And it really is entirely when you're in your subconscious reality constructs and the astral plane itself. It really comes down to your beliefs and kind of just holding your head high and not becoming fearful of anything. So yeah.
Yeah. Shane, tell him about that when you were little, the one that you had about the machine.
Yeah, so I had one as an adult, and the vibrating reminded me because I got a really vibrating sensation, and I thought something was wrong as an adult, but it gave me nostalgia when I was experiencing it of having it as a child. And I remember telling my parent, trying to explain it to him that, I had this dream, there was this big machine, because I think my brain was trying to like come up with a visual for what I was experiencing. So I'd see like this big dark area and this big machine with all these hoses and stuff on it, and it would get closer and closer as the vibration in my body increased more. And so they just told me it was nightmares or whatever. But after that, I don't know if I was even, because I'd get to their bedroom door and then like decide not to wake them up. I could have totally been out of body and just had no idea. They're just going to tell me it's a nightmare and send me back to bed. But yeah, that's but having all that fear, and it is scary when you experience that. When I experienced that as an adult, I thought I was having a heart attack, or I was getting beamed by, or abducted or something. All these things went through my head. But with my son, he's been noticing like shadow figures and stuff, and he's not fearful at all. Of course, he's like, like, what the heck is that? But when he was checking him out, he was like, well, one of them looked like my nephew, he said, and another one, he said, looked like a real tall version of me, and it was like going towards my bathroom. And so, he's like thinking maybe it's us like dreaming we're getting up or something, and he's like seeing it, but he's able to see this stuff and he's not, scared of it or whatever. So that's way different than I would have totally been freaked out as a kid if I saw a shadow being, because I was raised that there's, demons and stuff. So I would have just thought, oh, that's all demon, man. I'd freak the hell out about it.
That's what it is, that religious programming. You know what I mean? Like, really.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I think. Because geez, that's hard to like get past. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You didn't
Yeah,
really have
so
that to deal with, Bailey?
I mean, I've never really subscribed to any religion. I never had any religion forced upon me when I was a child. But you know, I've just recently I read through the Bible, and I have kind of explored Buddhism and stuff, and you know, it's kind of just like a stepping stone for the bigger picture that's going on, which is that we are all one. Whereas a lot of these religions, they will kind of say God is this or God is that, or you know, you are doing this, or you know, it's very judgmental. And then going into what Sherry just said, there is so much programming. Like they make you fear, like Christianity, they make you fear hell and darkness. And, you know, when you go on and you see a shadow being, you automatically will associate it to all of that stuff. You know, so if you get somebody who has never had any of that conditioning, any of that programming, you know, it'd be interesting to see, you know, how they navigate some of these mental constructs while they're in the astral plane. But what you were saying about, you know, or you said your son saw like, you know, different family members, including you. I've actually noticed that a lot in my dreams. It's like I will meet beings that will suddenly transform into people I know or my family members or whatever it may be. And it's interesting how the dreams will incorporate, you know, people you know, oftentimes to kind of, in my mind, you know, try to tell me something or try to get information from me or whatever it may be. But that was interesting when you said that about your son.
Yeah, and he actually does that while he's awake, but I can imagine he's shifting into these states of consciousness, you know, where the veil's thinning, and he's still seeing what you're seeing, but he's I don't know, maybe gifted to see what you would normally see when you're out of body. You know, his third eye might be opened a little bit. I don't really know, how, you know, the mechanism at work, but I that's really still a confirmation on what he's saying. You know, that it looks like the shape of us. You know, just like no features, just sort of this dark shape of us is how he describes it. No anything. It's just a shadow shape. You know.
Right. Also, like in sleep paralysis, I'll actually experience exactly that, like little, you know, just silhouettes kind of in my peripherals and kind of dancing around the outskirts of, you know, what I'm seeing with my vision. And a lot of times that'll be in a semi-aware, semi-conscious state before I either drift into sleep or fully rise out of sleep. But that's really cool.
Yeah, and the second that you say, "Oh, that's a devilly thing" or whatever, I promise you, it's gonna turn right into that.
Right.
And, you know, like it's so weird how that happens.
Our mind is powerful.
But I know, yeah, I know. I don't usually have a lot of vibrational state sleep paralysis stuff, but I did have one night where I had the sleep paralysis over and over and over, and I didn't see anything bad, but just the feeling of being locked down and being conscious like that, I was like, I wanted it so bad because I'd studied so much. And then here it was, and I was like, Holy Mary, Mother of God, let me out of this. Because, I mean, you know, and it just kept happening over and over and over. It's like I got to experience every part of it, but mostly with me, I'll just kind of like end up conscious somewhere all of a sudden, and it's just so real, sometimes even more real than this reality here, you know. But it's all really interesting, and I wish I could control it and do it more often, for sure. I hope that you do some more videos on that too, because it is cool, and I do think it's all linked together, just like we're all connected. I think all of these experiences are all connected also. You know, like I'm really very much into like the afterlife and spirit communication on accident. Like I was telling someone that I was waking up the other day because I work at night sometimes. So when I woke up, it was daylight, and I was awake, and an orb came right through the ceiling, and instantly right after that, I could I smelled like a woman's perfume. Like I knew that it was someone around me, and I wasn't afraid or anything like that. But it's just, I know I'm starting to see more. It's almost like everything's merging, not only us, but our experiences in the realms or whatever. It's just, and I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that because I'm one of those people that I really relate to the afterlife. I just know that they're still there. They're just in a different form.
Yeah.
I've had too many
I
experiences
definitely,
to not.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I agree with what you're saying about everything merging. That, a lot of my dreams, they'll either be, way out there, or they will be almost a continuation of this waking reality. And it'll be, all the same places, all the same circumstances for the most part. Like, when I'm fully conscious, I'll do the same things, like I'll literally check my phone for the time and stuff. And when I wake up in the dream, I will go and find somebody I know, and I'll say, "This is a dream," or just something crazy. But it amazes me how sometimes it is like there's no difference between the waking and the dream state. I don't know if that's CERN related or what's going on, but it's crazy.
Yeah, like the row, row, row your boat song. It says life is but a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Shane
That's
thinks
some.
it's a
That's
game, and I think it's like a movie.
yeah. I think it's a dream. A dream is a good way to describe it.
Yeah, I
Um,
know. It seems like, sorry,
no,
go
no.
ahead.
There's a little bit
No,
of a
you
delay. I
go.
was just gonna say I actually was singing that song today, and I was like, I wish I had somebody with me to do the I don't know. It's funny that how we entertain ourselves,
Oh,
but that
the
was a little
little like you start
synchronicity that,
singing.
yeah, the row, row, row your boat, and then somebody else starts it halfway through, and you just play around with it or whatever. So I was actually getting out of the bath today, and I was singing that. That's funny that you just sang that again. That's weird. That's a little synchronicity, but that's how
Yeah,
it's
the
been happening. Little
synchronicity.
things like that, like talking to your kids, and then like you'll say something, and they're whatever they're watching on the TV will like answer you or say the same thing, or just so many weird synchronicities that you know they're starting to notice it, and I know other people are too.
I know I had one
Yeah.
with Bailey's material. Actually, this is interesting because okay, so when I'm excited about something, I like put my hands together like I'm clapping, and I hold them and I rub them in little bitty circles, and I'm like, yay, you know what I mean? Okay. And so they don't have an emoji of that. And so I found an emoji that kind of looked like it. And I used that emoji for the very first time ever. And no joke, I go on the video that came up of Bailey's for me, had that same emoji like in the title. It looked like a little person with their hands maybe on a table or something. Like, I don't know, there's emotion involved, but it's not my little circle one. It was like their hands were flat. I was really trying to figure out what that emoji meant.
Why did you
Do you know
choose
which
that
one I'm talking
emoji,
about?
Bailey?
I'm trying to think about which one. I think so. It's like it's got like a guy, like his hands are down on the table, and it's got like little kind of waves stemming from his head. And I kind of just
Yeah,
look at. I mean, I don't even know what that emoji means, but
me either.
I look at. I consider it to be the manifesting emoji, or like the thoughtful thinking emoji. It just kind of looks like somebody just kind of seated thinking, and sending out vibrations from their brain into this conscious reality.
That's awesome because that's like the other end of what you're saying. It's like it's almost like that state you should be in when you're manifesting, rubbing your hands together like it's coming, it's on the way, it's here even.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all exciting and
Expectation.
happy, and that's what I was trying to find an emoji of, and I just picked that and never hit it before. And when I went to his channel, that video that was up first had that little person like that. Mine had like little ponytails, and his was a boy, but still, it was the same emoji. I had no idea what it meant, and I was like, wow, that's so weird.
That's funny. I've never even
Cool.
seen it.
Cool.
So that to you. It's interesting. I didn't know what it meant, but I liked about the manifestation thing. That's cool. Yep.
So,
But I think that I just go ahead.
oh, I was gonna change the subject, but if you had anything else with that, I was just gonna ask them.
No.
Oh, okay. Just about, I don't know, like meditation practices and stuff like that. What kind of things you do? Do you have like a diet preference and stuff like that?
Well, with diet, I'm a vegan, so
Hmm.
I just try to stick to that. And then I was fasting a lot in towards the end of 2020, but I lost a lot of weight, and people have been telling me I've got to kind of keep an eye on that. So I decided to start. I'm gonna try to fast just like 3 or 4 days out of each month,
Hmm.
because I mean, I just feel so much more connected to everything when I am fasting, and I feel like my manifestations go crazy.
Wow.
I feel like, I feel like I'm actually, in the moment controlling my reality. There's no delay or anything. But in terms of meditation, I wake up, I do Wim Hof first, which is, I'm sure you've heard of it, just a breathing exercise. And then I do usually anywhere from like 30 to an hour minutes of meditation. And that's either just I go outside and I do it on my porch. And I either just have no music, or I'll find like some frequency music. And then I try to meditate before I go to bed, but sometimes I don't get around to that. So, I would say I meditate 1, 2 times a day.
That's cool. I wanted to actually go back to the fasting, and because I fast on accident, sometimes I forget to eat like all day. But um, when you're doing it on purpose, like is it just water, or do you have other, like if you're going 3 days, do you drink? What do you drink and stuff?
Well, so there's a dry fast and there's also a water fast. I've never done a dry fast because I know I wouldn't make it. I don't know how people do that. But yeah, it's basically just you hold off from any food, and you focus on um, kind of fighting the urge to eat, and then you have water to drink, which is cool. But like what you were just saying, like there's also intermittent fasting, and then same goes with me. I never have eaten breakfast like my whole life, so um, I've kind of always intermittent fasted. So moving into fasting wasn't the most challenging thing, but yeah, it has a ton of benefits, and it just makes you feel more connected to the divine realms, and some of the things that are unseen to the eyes and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard it helps with like detoxing the body and stuff. Do you mean like physical benefits as
Yeah,
well as
for sure.
spiritual benefits?
Oh yeah, physical for sure. It's a complete reset of your digestive system. One problem I was running into is your digestive system basically gets a break, a long needed break, when you finally decide to fast. And when you turn around and eat again, what I didn't know is you're supposed to go very slow, introduce food slowly. And for a while there, I would fast for a couple of days, and then I would turn around and eat like a 3-course meal, basically, my very first meal.
Oh,
And it was amazing to see just kind of how, that fast that I'd taken was truly a reset on my digestive system, because it was like my digestive system didn't even know what food was. It just didn't take it. Um, but it really does cleanse you completely. You really don't have any food coming in, so everything's coming out.
right. So do you go back with like just liquids only, or just, I don't know, soup or something?
Now I've been trying to just, whenever I get back into food, I'll eat like half a banana,
Hmm.
and then a couple hours later I'll eat the other half, and
Hmm.
then but yeah, I've heard soup and like vegetable broth and stuff is the way to go, just to make sure you don't have any complications.
Hmm.
I'm guessing I need to slow down on the ravioli.
I don't. I just kind of just do whatever my body. I don't know. I've made a lot of changes. Like I just pretty much just drink water now, and I've been slowly. I just try not to get too stressed out about it. And I know people need different things, but I'd be afraid I wouldn't get enough. Man, it seems like isn't it? Is it hard for you? Do you have to take any supplements like protein or anything to make up on for the lack of other stuff?
Yeah, I mean that's probably the hardest thing. Like you said, is there's a couple things that when you choose to um, go vegan, you kind of miss out on. Like your protein options are a little bit more limited.
Hmm.
So I make a lot of like vegan protein shakes, which is the protein is plant-based from peas, like pea powder.
Mm.
Um, and then there's lots of other ways, like beans are high in protein, and then a lot of like seeds, like hemp seeds, flax seeds, chia seeds, um, and there's also like non-GMO supplements like
Hmm.
spirulina and stuff. But I just I make a lot of smoothies. I've kind of found that as I've gotten into veganism and then ultimately fasting, it's like my body really prefers just liquids rather than solid food. And I don't know if that is kind of um, in correlation to just the shift between people on this planet or what's going on, but I've seen how just as a whole, I've kind of shied away from solid foods, big meals, stuff like that.
Man, I wish there was like just a some type of shake I could drink that had everything I needed in it. I mean, I'd be totally okay with that. Like a wafer and a shake. Wouldn't that be awesome? And then you just get 100% of what you need
That
every
does
day.
sound good. I can send you a recipe. I've got a couple that I mean, I've been drinking them forever, so I'm kind of tired of them. But when I first had them, I was like, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. Do you share stuff like that on your channel or anything?
I've done a couple, like vegan. I have one. It's like vegan must-haves and stuff,
Hmm.
which I kind of go through a lot of like protein options, supplement options, vitamin um, options and supplements. But one of the videos I'm planning on making is that actual vegan shake recipe.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So I'm gonna get to it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
That
want to
would be
fast
cool.
more myself, but and I would even change up my diet a bunch. It just seems like so much work, and I don't know. It just seems like a full time job almost. Yeah, I've had Ensure before, but I mean like something that had all the vegetables and just everything that we need. I think you'd probably have to drink several of them to get it all in there, but probably have to have a wafer or something for some solid stuff too. I imagine, but I don't know. It would just what do
Somebody put out
astronauts
something
have?
like that.
Someone
What do I
Uh,
have?
some kind of
they just,
astronaut pudding that's
I'm
got
just
it all in
playing.
it or something.
I actually, I kind of like eat. I noticed that I eat different too. Like, um, I don't like to eat a big meal. Like, down here in Louisiana, everybody wants like rice and gravy and stuff like that, and I just feel sick after I eat that. And so, like, I wasn't lying about my ravioli. Like, I literally can, like today, I ate today was my little can of ravioli. I know it's like bad for you, whatever, but I don't feel overly full after I eat it, and then I'm like good. Like if I don't know, I can't eat 3 meals a day anymore and be comfortable. But I know some of my choices aren't good. Like everyone on this channel knows that I'm like a Coca-Cola addict and all, but I think it has to do with the way that I work, being a nurse and stuff. And I'm trying to stay up at night, so it's like Coke and coffee and all that. And I know I need to like drink a lot more water and stuff. But so I'm gonna try to incorporate some of that and see if it doesn't help the lucid dreaming and everything. But mostly, I know it's even been revealed to me that I just need to like meditate more. I need to get a little schedule with that and just do it more.
Yeah. I think it's neat the way your body talks to you, and you just end up making the changes when you start. It's like one step. You start meditating more, and then you'll notice that. Like even now with the food, my diet's changed so much. I'm still not eating like I know I probably should, but at this point I'm already losing weight. So it's like if I started eating more healthy, I'd actually be getting less calories. But I just kind of eat whatever is made in the household. I'm not really responsible for the food preparation. So I just kind of I just I eat whatever's served. Don't make a big fuss about it.
Go with the flow. But
Yeah,
I
to a
would
large
like to have some
extent.
goals.
Sorry.
No, I was saying I want to have
Go
some
ahead.
goals like what Bailey's doing. That's cool.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, taking a little step at a time. Like water, drinking water, that was a huge one for me because I loved soda and all of that stuff. So, and now I prefer water over, I like, soda with a meal or something, but, for the most part, I'm just a water drinker and I love it. And I never thought I'd be like that years ago.
Yeah. It's definitely case by case, it's whatever works best for your body. And going back to what you said, like, about, being, people are really strict and kind of hard on themselves. I do see myself getting that way sometimes, and I'm like, maybe I should just enjoy the human experience a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Eat some ravioli. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, like there's nothing wrong with ravioli at all, especially if it's what works best for your body. But
So
yeah,
about that,
3
all
meals
that.
a day is just too much.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
But I'm so glad that we had you come on here, though, because I want everybody to go subscribe to your channel, and I appreciate that your videos are short. Like if I'm on a little work break or something, I can go watch it, and I kind of like that a lot. So
Thank you so much for coming and checking out my channel in the first place. This is amazing.
Yeah, so you guys that's joined in
Oh.
late, I do have Bailey's link to his channel down below. It's Endlesssoul YouTube channel, and you can click that. So let's see, there was something else that I wanted to get into. What was it? Oh! We had somebody in our community that does the black seed oil. I saw that you did a video on that.
yeah.
Can you talk a little
Saw
bit
that
about
one.
black seed oil? Because our friend actually has that. So, and I actually tried a little bit of it, and but I want to see what you have to say about it.
Yeah, black seed oil is amazing. It's pretty life changing. I've seen just a long list of benefits that might not all you know have been the case for me, but I've seen so many in terms of just like cleansing my body. It's another good one. Like it's similar to apple cider vinegar in terms of how it kind of just immediately cleans your body, but it also cuts down on inflammation like crazy. It restores blood cell count. It revitalizes all your organs. I know a lot of people use it on their skin. They use it on their facial hair. They use it in their hair itself. It's just a very positive and beneficial supplement that's out there. And you go and you tell your doctor, I might go and treat this with black seed oil. Sometimes they won't even know what you're talking about because it is sort of something that you have to hear about. And then once you get into it, it's just tons of benefits. And also with lucid dreaming, I first began to, before I got into mugwort and all that, I noticed that when I would take black seed oil before bed, I would have a better chance of going into what would eventually become a lucid dream. So yeah, lots of different benefits. They're kind of all over the place.
Well, when I got that black seed oil from Pira, I noticed an uptick in my dreams too. But I was wondering if the energies at that time. It's so hard to like pinpoint what's causing it. If you're trying all these different things, and then the energies coming in, I can definitely feel a change with that. One of the things we talk about on the channel is how sometimes our brain will interpret what it's feeling in the dream state or in the energies and sort of project a dream that kind of goes along with the energies. And what kind of drew me
Right.
to that is a lot of people were having like levitating and flying and floating dreams like this, you know, and it was like some of them felt like they were floating out of their body, and I felt at that time I was feeling this uplifting energy, and I was like, is that just our brain's way of sort of interpreting this uplifting energy that's flooding in right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is cool. When you do kind of, as soon as you take it, you kind of do feel like something's kind of happening up there.
All right.
You know, you don't really know what it is,
Wow.
but I do notice sort of an immediate change even in, you know, my waking reality, which is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I
That kind of happened to me with the Ormus, the monatomic gold.
Ormus, yeah.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just started Ormus.
Well, I was reading the
Shout
chat
out
here,
to
and it
you,
says
Taylor.
Vanessa said that uh, a certain soda product might calcify your brain. I gotta reword it a little bit because I don't want to get in trouble. But your favorite beverage
Are
might
you
cause
talking
you some
about
pineal
mine?
gland calcification. So, what do you have any tips or any information about opening up the third eye? Because I think one of your videos was talking about opening up the third eye.
Yeah, I mean, black seed oil is a pineal decalcifier. But you know that you just have to. There's so many kind of traps just in our daily life. Like fluoride is a something that calcifies pineal glands, and that's in everybody's tap water. And what people don't think about when it comes to that is when you're showering and you have a hot shower on, you know, it opens up all your pores, and all of that water just pours into your body, you know, um, from everywhere. And that is, it's sort of a um, you know, it's like it's working overtime in terms of calcifying. I mean, it's never like an immediate effect, but
Mm-hmm.
um, you have to watch what you're eating. You know, you make sure to eat non-GMO. Um, I mean, I don't ever push veganism on anyone, but um, as soon as I went vegan, just everything, my spiritual journey, whatever you want to call it, just heightened to new extremities I didn't even know were possible. Um, and then the foods you eat, you know, like red fruits and veggies stimulate the third eye and help decalcify it. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much what I have on that.
Do you Ormus or monatomic gold or anything like that, like Sherry mentioned?
Yeah, I actually I just got my Ormus like a week ago, and I've been using it for about a week, and it's weird. It kind of feels like I'm 4 days in actually, and today especially, it kind of just feels like I'm lighter, and I'm sort of hovering above my feet that are on the ground, which is kind of weird. But um, Ormus is supposed to have an amazing effect in all of that, in decalcifying, in balancing the size of your brain, in inducing lucid dreaming, in aiding you in astral projection, and in you know, connecting to your spirit guides, connecting to um, God or whatever you want to call it. Um, Ormus is a very it's wrapped in a lot of different uh, spiritual uses and spiritual benefits. So I decided to look into that.
Let's see. Treza
I didn't.
Sapien is saying it's crazy. I've been feeling that way when showering lately. I guess talking about the fluoride in the water. I wonder if there's any additives, like, because I'm sitting there thinking, you know, I put like, you know, when I take my baths, I put the salt stuff in there and all that. But if I'm like bathing in salty fluoride, then that might not be so good.
Nanotechnology? No, I'm just kidding.
Or something that
Nanotechnology, yeah.
yeah.
See, now that's when I like to try to use my manifestation skills on my ravioli. and then I feel like it's something positive that's working to help me. It's a red vegetable. Potatoes in it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I do that. I like bless the water and put good intentions into it. But
Right.
yeah,
I'm doing what I'm doing what I can with what I got,
I
y'all.
can't stop
I'm
taking
working with what I
baths.
got.
You know, I don't know. I can't afford a
Yeah.
filtering system either. I don't know. I'm gonna have to douse myself with. I don't know. Maybe I get just jugs of water and pour in the tub. I'm just playing.
But it's like you go back and look at stuff that like how you we were talking about that time about like okay, you're gonna have to help me with this, but there was like the sparkling water and the purified water. Like I drink the Voss water and like some
Yeah, I
of them
love it.
really are just terrible tap water that's been put into these bottles and
Yeah. So the
it
thing.
it, it, it
Yeah. So I always look for spring water or distilled water. But if it says drinking
distilled water,
water,
yeah.
then if it says drinking water, it's usually really cheap or cheaper than the other stuff. And you'll read on it and it says bottled at a municipal water source. So they're just really filling these jugs up with tap water. It's probably filtered, reverse osmosis or something, but
If it says
who knows?
drink me, you probably shouldn't.
Wow. Well,
Yeah,
this
and a
is.
lot of those.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Sorry about the
Sorry,
delay.
go ahead. Go ahead,
A lot
Bailey.
of a lot of those drinking waters, you actually like you'll see them. You assume that since they're bottled and you're buying it in a store, it's good to go. And then you look right on the label and it'll say, fluoride and all these other additives, and it is surprising. Yeah.
And it gets back to it, and I hate to go towards the end here, go back to something negative, but it's like it's just unbelievable how they try to like shut down everything that's going on, and it just I guess it has to do with just like money and control, because if you have all of these people that are awake and manifesting everything, then you don't, you just kind of lose control of the control of us that they want. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it's really interesting how much effort though that was gone to shut down these things
Yeah.
that they obviously knew was coming.
Yeah, Vanessa says Fiji is good water. I like the Voss water. That Fiji, I wonder if that is that bottled in Fiji. Probably. The Voss water, I want to say, I found out about the Voss water when you brought some
Norway.
to Austin at the Austin get together. Yeah, so I've been drinking that because it tastes really good. But it's Norwegian or Norway,
No,
Norway.
Norwegian.
Mm.
Norway.
It's
Yes,
from a river or a spring in Norway. So that's
we think.
right. We don't know if Norway really exists. No, I'm just playing.
It might have moved.
Right.
Yeah, Bailey, I can't wait for you to check out the Mandela effect, and then like you're gonna have to
Oh, that's
come back
mind blowing.
here and talk about it because they have like art, music, movie lines, like that, like the one I'm sorry to get back into it. I love that
Yeah.
where they said I don't know if you know that movie where they said if you build it, they will come. Do you know that one, Bailey, or is that
Sounds
before your
familiar,
time?
but no, I can't. I don't know what it would be from.
Yeah. Field of Dreams.
Okay,
Yeah. Field of Dreams.
what's another one like
The
that you would
the
know?
Darth Vader one. Luke, I am your father, is now no, I am your father. That's
No
really
And even if
way.
you pull out,
Really?
yeah. Now he
yeah, and
says
look,
no,
Bailey, if you
I
pull
am
out
your
your
father. Yeah.
old,
Oh.
and
That's
say that you
crazy.
had a VHS up under your couch from like 1970 whatever of
Yeah.
Star Wars, and you pull it out and you put it in, and it's different. So it's not
Mhm.
like they changed it and the new ones have it. It's always been this changed way. That's
Right.
what's
Mm.
fascinating about it. And like I said, it'll try to at first they'll like trying to tell you you're remembering wrong or that this is it's like a conspiracy theory. But I'm telling you, once you dig in and go down and deep into it, that I mean, there is something happening there, and it's so interesting and phenomenal. And the best thing is that you can see, that the universe is changeable and malleable because it's changing.
Yeah, but I mean, this really goes back to what Bailey was saying earlier about this now moment. When we're looking back at the past, we're still looking at it from now. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, like
It's a
Vanessa, the
trip.
retro causality.
Yeah, Vanessa's actually in the chat right now. Shout out to Vanessa.
Hey, Vanessa.
So yeah, we're Vanessa's got a really cool channel too. You might want to check out, because we're getting
Definitely.
into the messages within the Mandela effect, and then within music, a lot of songs sort of popping up on our radar that have been there before, but we're not only noticing changes, but just new meaning in the words. Maybe you thought of it as, I don't know, maybe a relationship, but now it stands for like maybe a relationship with the divine or something. It has just takes on a whole new meaning.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just as your
I've
consciousness
noticed
raises.
that a lot.
Yeah, yeah. So things appear differently as you raise your consciousness. Then you start to perceive things differently, and that's what I love about the Bible, because the Bible, it's like an onion skin. You peel it and you get deeper meaning. One of the biggest changes for me was the lion shall lie down with the lamb, is now the wolf shall dwell with the lamb. And when I saw that, I'm like, no way, because I remember that scripture. But yeah, check out. I've got a playlist of Mandela effect changes that it's a couple of short videos. One of them is just was one of them Bible, only Bible. One of them might not appeal to you because I think it's mainly Bible changes, but the other one is just general changes in music and movie lines, and I think we've mentioned a few of them
You have
here.
like the top 10 or top
Yeah, the top
50
10 one. Yeah,
Mandela
that's a
effect.
pretty short one, but that'll give you some of the more popular ones, because it's a trip. And it's like, what? I know this was this way. And like, no, you go look it up, and you'll go look it up. And like J.C. Penney, most people just see something's different. They're like, well, I wonder, did somebody buy their company out? Because it used to be spelled penny, like we spell the money penny, but now it's Penney. It's got this extra E at the end. And the name looks so long, and I'm like, well, no way. Just little changes like that. But you'll go look, and, even the last name of the people are now J.C. Penney with the extra E. Just like if you look up the authors of the Berenstain Bears that are now the Berenstain Bears, it's like Jan and whatever Berenstain. That's their last name now. So it's just weird.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wait,
you'll
I'm
you'll love
definitely gonna
that.
check that out.
Yeah, check it out, and then
Yeah, and
I'd
there's
love to
a
have you
certain
come back
channel.
and sorry, and share your experience. And
No, no, no.
I was
I
gonna
was telling
actually.
about
Definitely.
Moneybag.
Oh, the Moneybags channel. Yeah, he's got a good channel. Moneybags
Yeah,
73.
Moneybag 73. I always think it's 76. I had that little. There's some YouTube channels too that their names seem to have changed a little bit or whatever. And definitely, Bailey, check out Vanessa VA. That there's so much valuable information on there that you'll really like resonate with and love.
I will check her out. That's awesome.
Just warning you though that the second kind of freaky thing with the Mandela effect is like when you go to talk to people about it, and uh, it can get pretty interesting because some people you'll tell them about it, they'll see it, and then sometimes they'll get angry for some reason, like just
Instantly mad.
like I don't know, just like
Cognitive
really mad at you,
dissonance.
like you changed it or something. Like I didn't change it, I'm just showing you. But yeah, and then other people will see it and then immediately see it the new way and be okay with it, or see it and then start fiddling with their phone and change the subject, or I don't know, man. It's weird. It was just as weird. People's responses were just as weird as the actual Mandela effect, and you can imagine how weird that is. So
Yeah.
just be prepared and know that that's like the
Yeah,
second wave of what the heck.
I had an aunt that would she kind of would paint murals on like kids' walls, and it was, but Charlie Brown was big, and she'd paint like Woodstock, the little bird and stuff. But she'd sign her name on them, but she also put Charles Schultz on there because it was Schultz. And now the T is gone, it's just Schultz. And I pointed that out to her, and she's never spoke to me again.
Oh my god.
And it's weird, you know.
See,
Really
now,
weird.
if she was a
Yeah.
good sport about it, she probably could have pulled out some of her pictures that of walls she's done, job she's done, and she would have known how she signed it. I don't know. Maybe it would have survived as residue. I don't know.
Yeah, to me it would have because she painted it. Yeah, there's another thing Bailey called residual,
Yeah.
and it would be like some people remember like Jif peanut butter being Jiffy peanut butter, and then you might find a newspaper ad from like the 70s or something that had a sale on Jiffy peanut butter.
Right.
But
Right.
some
Yeah.
of these
Little
things that
things
have
that
changed,
that
and they
survive.
call that residual evidence.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it gets pretty
people just
interesting
I
to
love
hunt
figured
it.
out
out.
the residue with stuff because when you see let me see the JFK assassination. Do you remember ever seeing the footage of that from way back?
I actually have seen the footage. Yeah.
Do you remember how many people were in the car?
There was it was just three people, right? The driver and him and his wife.
Okay, there's like three versions of this. So that's one, and then there's another version
Okay.
where there's those three people plus a politician named Connolly in front, and this bullet supposedly passed
Oh,
through
I think I
JFK.
heard that. Yeah.
Right, so that's another one, and
I think I
that's the one I
remember that.
remember.
Yeah.
But now,
Now, ready for this?
now there's six people in the car, man. It's the trippiest thing you've ever seen. Six people in the
Were they in the
car.
trunk?
No, no, no. So now we got in the very
Big
back.
old stretched out car.
You still got the president and the wife in the back, but directly in front of them is now another man and woman. Governor Connolly, who was always in front of JFK, but he used to be next to the driver. But now there's a woman next to him, his wife. And then in front of them, in the front row, is the original driver that's in all the versions of reality. He's the driver. But in the passenger seat is a Secret Service guy that's only in this new version of six people in the car. So, yeah, so that's a trip. So, one of the cool residual things I found on that is the police report from the day of the event, and they had the radio transcripts asking one of the officers to go pick up Governor Connolly's wife, the one that's sitting next to him in the car in this reality, to go pick her up from the airport and take her to the hospital because her husband had gotten hit by the bullet as well. So that's some cool residual in the museum. There's just a four-seater car like the original. And for some reason they made this big display and used the wrong car, right? So anyway, a lot of fun
Yeah.
stuff with it. You're really going to enjoy that.
And the Zapruder film used to be just black and white, and now it's in color.
Yeah, now the footage is in color now. It was originally black and white, but
Right.
yeah, it's color now. You're gonna trip when you see it, man. It's just that's the one that gets people because, like for me, even though it happened before I was born, I'd see that video like usually every year, either on his birthday or the anniversary of it or something, or documentaries that you watch when they're like going over who did it and what happened and all that. So I'd seen that footage so many times. Are people chiming in with it? Okay, some people remember 6, 4, 5. You remember 3. A lot of people remember 3. I didn't know if. Okay, so there's people that remember 5. That's interesting. So the driver and 4 in the back. Anyway, all right. So I guess we can wrap this up. Once again, I want to tell you guys, Bailey's YouTube channel is Endlesssoul, but the link for it is in the description just below. And I'd love to have you back sometime, Bailey. Thanks for taking the time to come join us and chat with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Shane and Sherry. I'm definitely going to check out the Mandela effect. Maybe we can talk about that next time.
Yeah, that'll be fun,
Oh, yeah,
man.
it'll be. And I would like to let Bailey sign off with his what he always says at the end of his video, if you don't care.
That'd be perfect. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I always say, remember, life is a gift. There's no stress and there's no pressure. And then I'm gone.
Nice.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.